This is a must if you have an S2000 and you're thinking about replacing the stereo and everything else like that. What's up, guys? So today we got some S2000 content for you, but before that, I'll show you the R6 here. Just got finished wrapping it, didn't record it, was trying to get it done because we had a beautiful day this last Sunday and I wanted to get it out and ride. I'll put the links down in the description for the different vinyls. This is KPMF, this is Tech Wrap, but super glossy. And then this is a matte finish. This is actually the same color that the Stradman wraps all of his cars. It's actually super nice. Today, the S2000 is getting a new stereo. And if you guys have ever owned an S2000, own an S2000, or been in one and listened to the radio, you know that they're complete garbage. So we actually picked up a Joying Android head unit. So we'll have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and we're gonna see if we can make this fit properly. I've seen a couple other people do this on the forums as well as on YouTube, but they don't really go super in depth with it. Right now I'm just unboxing it so I can show you guys what all this one specifically comes with. So you have a single DIN head unit, pretty basic. In this little package, you have your manual, bunch of wiring. It comes with its own harness and it has an ISO connector, so you can either get a harness that plugs directly into this and then plugs directly into your car, or you can just chop the end off of this and wire it into a typical like Metra harness or things like that. And then this is the reverse cam that is an option to get with it, which I'll be wiring up. Which, another thing about S2000s is if the top is up and you're trying to back up, you can't see anything. So this will be a nice addition. And then here's the main piece, the screen. Now, first impressions of this is it's pretty heavy. Backing is all metal. Frame, I believe, is all aluminum, so decent quality as far as the materials used. Now here's the screen. Now, because this is like a mirror finish and everything, it's just a glass screen, you will get a lot of reflection and glare. It's not a low glare screen, but it does feel like good quality. This is a really old school type connector, but hey, if it works, it works. Old school microphone. Comes with some extra clips just in case if you break these ones, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so first things first, get the gear shifter out of the way, and then this piece just pops out. Close that back up, and now I have a switch wired in here that's wired up, so I can't really get this too far out of the way. But you're gonna want to remove the door off of this. That way you can retain this bezel so it looks clean. The screen pretty much will cover up all of that anyways, but if you're looking at it from the side, you're gonna see that, and it'll just be much cleaner with this on here. And to remove this, there's these little pins that you have to push out in order to get the door off, and then put everything off to the side to put this back to stock if you ever need to. All right, so to get these pins out, what I did is I grabbed a small Allen key, put it in through the inside, and it's kind of tight because it's not a clear straight angle through, so it goes in at kind of an angle, but it's enough where you can just pop that pin out the other side. And then I'll go to this side here. Slides out, and then this door should come right off. And now there's these little springs in here so make sure that you don't lose those. On this side, there's this little guy, but that can probably stay there. And then that's it as far as removing the door off this. Now back in the car, all that's holding the stereo in, whether it be an aftermarket one like this or a stock one, is 4 Phillips head screws. So we'll go ahead and remove those, and then the unit will come out. Now that the stereo's out, if you have the factory one, you're just gonna have this one connection here, as well as like the antenna and things like that. If you have an aftermarket one, you'll have a connector like this that's wired up to the stereo that you had in. So what I'm gonna do is remove all these connections here, and then take the supplied harness, and since I don't have the ISO connector, I'm just gonna cut all these off, and then wiring this up is just matching the same color with this harness. One thing to note on this is they have this little socket here. Slide that open, and it's got a spot for a SIM card. Now if you have an extra SIM card that is activated and has internet, you can put that in here, and then you'll have wireless internet wherever you go. When you're going to install this, it's gonna have this on here, and that's if you have like an actual aftermarket bezel that this would actually slide into and clip into. This you don't need in this car. So now on the factory radio, or if you have an aftermarket one, you've already transferred it over, but you'll need to remove this bracket, transfer it over onto this. If you want to see more information on this, let me know down in the comments. Make sure to like the video and pick one of these up for yourself. I'll leave a link down in the description of where I got this, the exact unit, and everything that I have for it. And you too can have an Android head unit in your S2000. Last night I spent some time, got everything cleaned up, got everything fitting exactly how I want it to. The factory brackets for the stereo, I drilled a new hole to mount it to the deck itself. That way it could bring it further out. That way I could put the trim back in and it would clear. And it's like the absolute closest fit that I could get. And it's amazing. So I'm gonna actually go ahead, I'm gonna show you this, and then I'll take it out and show you exactly where to drill to mount this to get the exact fitment that I have. All right, so here it is. Factory trim piece is back in. Obviously this is going to block some airflow, so if you're running AC, this will probably be all right. It'll get a little cold. If you're running heat, if your S2000 is anything like this one, the heat in here is obnoxiously hot. So I would recommend switching from here to anything else other than this one. That way you're not blowing hot air right onto it. If you come into the side here, you can see where it actually connects. It's a tiny little gap, and you're never gonna notice that driving in here. Here's how it looks sitting in the car. Ergonomics are actually not that bad. It would be nice if it was tilted a little bit towards me and possibly like up a little bit, but that would also increase glare. But you can see, because of how clear everything is, it's literally a mirror. So that is kind of a downside to this. You look inside the car and everything, and when you're looking in, it looks like it's just a hole, like you could just toss stuff in there. This is by far, in my opinion, your best option to get a bigger screen, touch screen, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and all the features that you want in a stereo. Now with the stereo, the screen is easily detachable, so you just pull it right off and you can pull it out, and that's how the unit itself without a screen looks. Now it's got this cable attached to it, and you can order these, they're pretty cheap, and you can get longer extensions. So I mean, you can mount this wherever. You could replace your rearview mirror with it if you wanted to, and it's, if you have the screen off, you're going to be able to see everything. But pretty nice quality so far. I mean, the screen has a lot of weight to it, so it feels good. And I mean, this is a cheap like Amazon magnetic mount, the WizGear one, and it's halfway on it and it holds it. Now obviously if you're driving, this will fall, but if you're just chilling and everything and you want a better viewpoint, you can get a little magnetic mount to put it on there. You can also get magnetic, like the ball mounts, and put it on the back of here. Just remove these, and that would allow you to at least pivot this up and down. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna remove the screen, which is as simple as that, and then it's off. And now the trim piece, I took out my little button for the LED floor lights, but it kind of works out because now I have a place if I ever need to pull this off. It comes off fairly easily. Here are the factory mounts, and normally the back hole would screw in right there, but that only allows you to put the screen on without this trim piece, and it sits a little bit further back. But I'll take this out and I'll show you exactly where I drilled it. On these mounts, there's going to be a little R and an L for left and right. That is right on this back side of where it's screwed in. So if you're looking at it from this angle, from these going back, you drill the hole right in front of the letter, and then you mount that in the furthest point back that this opening allows, and that will give you the perfect fitment. You do that on both sides, tuck all the wires in, and you will be good to go. Also, if you guys end up optioning the reverse camera, the way you hook that up, there are a red and black wire that are closest to the camera. Those attach to the positive and negative for your reverse light, and there's only 2 wires going to your reverse bulb, so you just tap into those, and then you have 2 little RCA connections in the back that are, you can only put them in one way, so you can't mess that up. And then you just feed the wiring up here. I went through the trunk, kind of around the trim and everything, and then down. I pulled the panel off behind here so I could pull it straight through, and then the wire is just running underneath this, and then I put it underneath the carpet here and through here. There's a little Phillips head screw on this holding this in, and then it's just some clips, and you just pop that off and it gives you a bunch of space to be able to feed it up back and around. And once you get to the back side of the stereo, you plug one end into this, and it's clearly labeled for rear view camera, and then this orange one doesn't match up to the green wire on it, but it says back on it, and that is for the reverse camera. So you just hook it up into that, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. You turn it on, quickly starts up. Since my phone is connected through Bluetooth, it just automatically goes right to that, or it goes right back to the last thing that you had open on it. And you can set it where it completely powers off when you turn the key off, or you can have it set to where it basically goes into a sleep mode. Now that will have a draw on the battery, but it's so little, and if you're driving your car often, you'll never have to worry about it. Now I'll show you guys the reverse cam, and there it is. It's actually pretty clear. It's kind of it's a wide angle plus like a fisheye effect, but as you can see, you can't see anything really out of the plastic window that came on these. The next model year up from my S2000 came with the glass, which was nice, but I didn't get that. But little secret for you guys, my hardtop is supposed to be delivered today, so you'll be seeing that soon. But anyways, Android Auto is wired. You have to have it plugged in, so you route your USB cables, which I just routed them back behind and underneath, and then I'll have this somewhere where it's easily accessible so it's not just dangling. You plug it in, click that, and it loads up pretty fast. You have your menus and everything else like that. You can download different apps and everything else, but I'll go ahead and I'll play some non-copyrighted music here for you, just so you can kind of hear the sound. You're not going to get a great idea of it, just kind of have to take my word for it. It sounds pretty damn good. Once you go through the equalizer settings and everything, you can individually adjust pretty much all the sound settings, and there's a lot of different things that you can kind of toy with and everything. Sounds pretty good. Sounds better than the little Kenwood that I had in here. Again, this S2000 does not have factory speakers in the doors. It also has aftermarket tweeters, which these things, for 40 bucks or however much they weren't any more than that, are awesome. Can't complain. We're just gonna go with the first one that pops up. Now here's the biggest downfall of this, is there's no volume button. So you actually have to go up here, click this little symbol, and then it brings up, and then it's a slider. Yeah, sounds awesome in here. You could be redlining this thing, have the top down, and you'll hear everything super crisp. So the head unit didn't have any negative effects. If anything, it helped the sound quality. Plus, if you're doing audio upgrades to an S2000, you have to get aftermarket door speakers. Tweeters, if you don't already have the tweeters in the door, which the 2000, 2001 model years did not come with a tweeter in the door. Replace those, get some of these, or replace the factory ones, wire up an amp to feed power to those, and this car will sound amazing. This is a must if you have an S2000 and you're thinking about replacing the stereo and everything else like that. Granted, you can pick one of these up for like 80 bucks online and it'll do the job just fine. But if you're like me, you want to have a little bit of candy on the inside of your car, and there is nothing in this car that is luxurious, technologically advanced. I mean, it does have a engine start button that you still have to turn the key for, but you need to get one of these. I'll link this down in the description. It's about $400 with this and the reverse cam. It showed up from China to me at my house in less than a week, and it wasn't that difficult to install. And since I kind of already went through the whole process and the little issues that I ran into, you won't have to run into those. So go ahead, pick one of these up, and you will not regret it. Now, I can't say how reliable this is going to be or how long it's going to last. Hopefully it lasts quite a while. I don't see why it wouldn't. But if you guys want, I'll do an update later on, maybe 6 months down the road. So maybe just comment on this video and remind me if it's been a while. Otherwise, let me know what you guys think of this. Let me know if you would rather do this or have like the JDM bezel and put a double din in the dash and cut this up and everything else. This is by far the easiest and cheapest way to go, and it's completely reversible. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this helps you out, gives you some good ideas, makes you make some bad financial decisions and buy a new stereo for your car. Look at that.